So this is when like COVID really got serious for me because it's like, dang, like I personally felt bad because I never shared the gospel with the old man. I never really like went out of my way to like show him. I mean, of course, I was nice and respectful and, I give him food every once in a while, but I never really like intentionally like shared the gospel with him or just showed him the love of Christ like I could have. And like that was just like kind of like a wake up call the Lord used for me to like to always be missional and to make sure I'm loving and sharing the gospel with everybody and share and show the love of Christ to all people. And it was just like a wake up call for me. It was definitely like a life lesson. And but it also too was like a wake up call for like COVID. Like dang, like yo, like we hear about people dying on the news. We see it. We hear about people getting sick throughout the compound, people getting moved to the quarantine dorm. But yo, like my bunkie, who literally I could like put out my hand and hit the bunk next to me, like, yo, he's not there anymore. His bunk is empty, and it's because he died. You know what I mean? Like I remember like waking up in the morning, I see his empty bunk, and I would just like really like process it through my mind, like, dang, like old school really died behind COVID. You know what I mean? And like I said too, like I'm waiting to go to work at least at this time. I'm dying to get out of prison and go home. And it's like, dang. So now like my mind's turning about like, yo, when are they gonna start doing transfers again? How long is COVID gonna last? And man, it was just definitely like like I said before in episode 1, the hardest prison time I ever did in my life, man. It was crazy. So this goes on for months. No rec, no canteen, but slowly but surely, even as the pandemics, spreading throughout the nation and throughout the globe, things on the compound, people are still getting sick, people are still going to the hospital. We're hearing about a few more deaths. But things kind of like become a new norm, and then even administration begins to like lighten up on the restrictions. Now like dorms can go out one at a time to rec. So that becomes like our new norm, like going to rec like every other day for an hour. So we're dying to go outside. I'm out there running my life away, because I like to run and work out and, play sports and things like that. And we can go to canteen now like every couple of days. So everybody's like stockpiling on canteen to where like the canteen's empty because everybody's buying everything they can because they don't know when they're going back to the store. So man, that went on for months. And then finally, they started opening up the compound again. Like child services started happening and we could start going back to child. But once again, too, it was like one dorm at a time. So it was like months and months, maybe like 3 or 4 months of like just quarantine, like being stuck in the dorm, like no canteen, no rec, no nothing. And then like starting to go to canteen, like every couple of days and the rec every couple of days for a couple months. And then chapel months down the line, and then like call outs months down the line, school months down the line. So it was like, maybe I think about a year process. I don't know if it was a year, maybe 6 to 8 months. It was definitely a long, drawn out process of being completely locked down on quarantine and things slowly opening back up. And just the whole COVID experience, man, in prison was chaos. Like I said, man, they stopped doing transfers for a long time. But thanks be to God, man, when they started doing transfers again, I was one of the first people out of prison, man, going to work at least. Because a lot of people, like these months of quarantine, all the people at work release are going home. So a lot of these work release centers were empty and they need to fill them back up ASAP so the state can start getting half their check, you know what I mean? And of course help the inmate population transition back into society. But for the most part, the state wants their money. So they're trying to fill up these work release centers as fast as they can so they can get half of everybody's check. So they start sending a whole bunch of people to work release, and thanks be to God, man. I get transferred from prison and I make it to work release. So listen, that was my COVID experience while in prison. So once again, man, this is your boy EI the King, and this is the Incarceration Podcast where I talk about prison, pre, post, and in present, and how everything that I experienced throughout my incarceration has forever changed my life. This is the incarceration. So listen, man, any questions about COVID while in prison? If you were in prison and you were in there during the pandemic, and if you're at a different prison, whether it be in the state of Florida or throughout the nation, go ahead and drop it in the comments. Let me know how your experience was. If you love this video, man, go ahead, drop some fire emojis, like and subscribe to this channel, turn the notification bell on. And I do have another podcast. It's called Let Me Talk Bro. It's on my official music channel. It's called EI the King. So go ahead and subscribe to that podcast and that channel as well. And what's up, man? Y'all like the home studio here, or you feel like I should go back to the official studio? Let me know. And it's your boy.